Hello, this is Roland. Welcome. Today I want to talk about a passage from the Bible that you hear a lot. And I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to discuss it in light of psychology. First, I want to mention, I don't say this enough, I should say it more often, that I am non-denominational. Okay, I'm non-denominational, which means I don't belong to a church. I don't get paid by a church. It's just me. And for 26 years, I've been on the radio talking about Christianity in a common sense kind of a way. And I'm very happy to have been able to do that. I buy the airtime myself. I pay for the airtime. It's a labor of love. Because I would like to see people become unshackled, free from the baggage of the past and moving forward and refinding joy. Okay? Once upon a time, we were all little kids. We were spontaneous and full of life and full of love. Every day was an adventure. And we loved to discover things. And then something went wrong. Okay? Something went wrong. And now we don't have that anymore. Sometimes we pretend we have it, but we don't. So we smoke marijuana and drink alcohol and go shopping and party and work, and we do everything we're supposed to do, but something is missing. And I'd like to help you find that part that is missing. Now, let me read to you what I found in the Bible. And here it is. As soon as I start reading it, you will immediately recognize it because you hear it a lot. If my people, who are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Okay? I know you've heard that before. Let me read it one more time, and I'll emphasize the word that I'm going to discuss. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin and will heal their land. That's God talking. That's what he said. Okay? Well, so the word that I want to discuss is turn. Now, yesterday, I talked about emotions. So this will be part 2. Some of you are victims of a process. See, some of you may want to turn from your wicked ways, okay? And basically, some of you know that something is missing in your life, okay? And you know that you're not quite right. There's something a little bit off balance about your life. And there's something wrong with the way you relate to other people because your relationships are not working out. See? Maybe you're the biggest people pleaser around. You try so hard to please people and to be nice, and then people walk all over you and take advantage, and it doesn't work. And then you chase after them, and then they see you coming and they run. See? Or you try to manipulate everything. You can't stop manipulating. See? Trying to have your will, trying to make everything work out. And then when it doesn't, you're crestfallen. But people don't want that either, so they rebel against your manipulations. Okay? Maybe you resent your partner. You don't want to resent your partner, but you do. You can't help but judge him for what he does. Reminds you of other men you've known, and your father who failed you. See? And you men, you want to be paid. You want to be a good dad, but you don't know how. See? You go to work, you come home, you watch sports, you cut the grass, wash the car, take the kids to the ball game, take the kids to soccer practice, whatever you do. Bring your wife flowers sometimes. And you do all that stuff, and yet somehow she's still secretly unhappy. You don't understand what she wants. See? And some of you are young people, maybe you're not married yet or not living with someone, and you see your parents fighting and you wonder, why can't they just be happy? See, why can't they just get along? You don't understand. Well, take heart, because there are answers. And to get life, to come out the way, see, we're not supposed to be victims. Why are you a victim? See, why are you a victim? See, remember Christ said to overcome evil with good. We're supposed to overcome evil with good. You're supposed to win. You remain patient and calm and principled and honorable and courageous. Okay? And some people see that and they love it. And their life changes for the better. And others, see, resent you, and then they fall apart at the seams of resenting what's right in you. See, you're not supposed to be, see, good is supposed to conquer evil, and it does. But see, you don't represent good. That's the problem. You don't know what good is. See, you're sort of a halfway person. Okay, so this is very important. So how do you turn? So yeah. So what I was going to say is, you may be a victim of a process that you see, an unwilling victim. You want to have faith, but something is blocking you from faith. You want to believe, but something's blocking you from belief. You want to live right. See, you don't want to get angry, but somehow you get angry. Part of you wants to get angry. Part of you wants to be resentful. See, you don't want to do the naughty things or do what you know you shouldn't do, but somehow it's calling you. It keeps beckoning you. See, well, let's talk about it. Why is it that you can't? So you would like to turn. So you hear that Bible verse that I just quoted, and you would like to turn, okay, but you don't know how. Well, I can help you. First, a little bit of an introduction. So you don't need a lot of knowledge. You just need a little bit. You need to hear me, get a little bit of perspective, and then you need to learn how to get out of your thinking. To get out of your thinking and out of your emotions, to stand back from them, be objective to them. Okay, that's what you need to learn how to do. And there again, I can help you. That's why I made the meditation. That's why I made it free. So, see, here's what happens. Humans are creatures of belief. You have to believe in, the soul needs to believe. Okay? You have to believe in something. Even if you believe that the worst is going to happen, that's still belief, you see? So people need belief, they need hope. That's what the soul needs. Because the soul is a creature of belief. And belief bonds you to the source of what you're believing. And then that source then gets into you, and then you become like that source, and you become dependent on that source. See? Well, what's happened to you is that, okay, so here's the other thing. So you understand that animals don't need belief. A cat doesn't need belief. A cat won't die if it doesn't have something to believe in, something to hope in. See? Cat doesn't need that. Or a dog, or a deer. But humans do. So, but you don't want to believe the wrong things either. See? But maybe you don't know what's right. So you're confused. Or you want to believe, but you don't really. You doubt. See? You hear, about Jesus and about God, and you're supposed to behave properly and so on, but somehow you don't have the kind of belief that saves. Well, perhaps you would like to, though. Like I said, you would like to. You like the truth. You like justice. You like people that have understanding and are calm. You like that sort of thing. Okay, and you want to be that way too, but something is blocking you. Well, let's talk about one of the things that blocks you is that you have been turned. You've heard that expression, haven't you? It's usually used in a pejorative way. Someone's been turned. Okay, it means they've been changed. They've been something. Usually it's not good. Well, you've been turned. And here's what happens. It's because of emotion. See, you don't even realize. See, all your life people have told you emotions are good, to have passions and excitements and these feelings, okay, of romance and love and lust and all these, see, passions. You've been told that's good, see. And then the other side, the anger, and even the anger, sometimes they tell you that's good. Anger and hate and get even and show them and prove something, see, and take up the challenge and win and beat them and, you know, that kind of stuff. Win for the coach, win for the team, see, get even, see, all these emotions. But then you experience the downside. You experience the unhappiness and the frustration and the futility and the despair. See, the downside, which always comes after the high, always comes the low. So what you have to see is that there's something wrong with emotions. Humans were not meant to live by emotions. We were meant to live by faith. See, the man of principle, the woman of principle, she doesn't need emotion to move. See, she sees what's right. It's like the truth is self-evident. Okay, like 1 + 1 = 2. You can see that that's true. Of course you memorize it, but you can also see it. And it's self-evident. No matter what anybody says, you know that 1 + 1 = 2, and you don't need any energy to express that. See? It doesn't take any energy because it's self-evident. Okay? And then, if you see what's right, then to do what's right should be simple. I'll give you an example. You're walking down the sidewalk, and all of a sudden there's a big hole in the sidewalk. Great big, giant, deep hole. Okay? So what do? You walk around it. There's no decision-making process involved, nor are any emotions involved. You see the hole, you walk around it. See? Well, that's the way life should be. And if you have faith, and you would be bonded to the source, you'd be bonded through your intuition, through your Creator, and in His inner light would then be a lamp unto your feet. It would be present sight and foresight. But what's happened is that the emotions have turned you because you've been emotional. You were emotionalized when you were a little child. Now, what is emotion? It galvanizes. It prepares the whole body. See, I'm sure you've heard of fight or flight, the emotion of fight or flight. They talk about the adrenal glands and the sympathetic and parasympathetic. I'm sure you're familiar with that. You've had a little bit of that in your college psychology class or somewhere along the way. You have, or you've read about it. Okay? But the basic idea is that any emotion, it's not just fight or flight, but any emotion galvanizes the body. See, let's say an animal sees something and then it has to react to it. Well, the whole body must react. The body must be prepared to react. You know, if there's a lion, there's a deer in the forest, and all of a sudden there's a lion, well, the deer has to react, and the whole body has to react. The legs have to carry the deer away. He can't just sit there and think about it or see it with his animal brain. The body must be galvanized. All the cells of the body must be ready to work toward that goal of escaping. You see, well, so now you see what emotion does. See, they even talk about that galvanic skin response. Okay, something about emotion. See, it's some kind of an energy. It's electrical, electrochemical. Okay, and hormones are involved. It's amazing, but the whole body is involved. Okay, well, so here's the thing. When your whole body when your mind is fixated on something, focused on something, concentrating on something, your attention has been captured by something or someone. See, And if it's a someone, then there's some kind of a source behind that someone. See? So there's your attention captured, and then you begin to feel emotions. So now your whole body is also involved and galvanized. So now your whole mind and body are turned toward that. But here's the thing. Remember what I said? Faith has nothing to do with emotions. So basically what you've done, and so you're not living by faith anymore. Now you are an emotional animal. And then you look into your brain, your animal brain, for answers. Your animal brain is to compute answers. See, to do this or to do that, or to run or to jump or to reach or to laugh or something. Okay? So now you become a clever animal. A very clever animal, galvanized and emotionalized and fixated on something. And then you look into your animal brain for answers. But what kind of ideas come into your animal brain? They're ideas from the outside. See? Have you ever been in the presence of someone who intimidates you and then you can't even think? It's like your mind goes blank and then their thinking becomes your thinking. You know what they want and somehow you can't stop yourself from doing what they want. See? You want to put up a little fight or oppose what they say, but you can't. You try to drum up energy, and your only hope is to drum up angry energy, or to find someone else that you can latch on to. Okay, so you got the idea. Your whole body is turned. Now, because of you become emotional. You are turned all the time toward the world. See, and toward this lower process of emotions and reacting. And you're turned from the spiritual way. You're literally turned away from God. You don't even realize it. See? Before you were upset, long ago, before you got upset for the very first time, you were self-composed, you were calm. When you were a little child, you saw many things. You wondered about them. You can get upset, you just wondered. And if you saw something to do, then you just did it. You were more spontaneous. See? But now it's all about reacting and about emotions. No wonder you feel drained. When your brain is supposed to concentrate, everybody tells you concentrate, fixate, try, strive. So there you are striving, and your body is galvanized toward this goal. No wonder you become drained and feel tired. So here's the important point I'm trying to make. You are turned away from the life of faith, from the spiritual life, from intuition, see, by way of emotions. So you're a victim of this process. You don't want to be turned away from faith. You want to live by faith. You want to believe in what's right. See, you want to move gracefully and calmly and not angrily and excitedly. But you find yourself moving angrily. You find yourself moving excitedly. So what you need to do is turn around. Okay? Turn. Now the easiest way I know, of course you have to want to do that. If you don't want to, or you're not ready to, see, then then all you can do is just wait until maybe one day you will be ready or you will want to. Okay? But if you want to, see, then may I recommend you try the little meditation, because it teaches you how to stand back from this process from the emotions and from the thoughts that you fall into. See, the emotional, imaginative life of thinking and imagining and planning, and then you use your daydreams to escape into, when in reality what you do doesn't work out because you're using the wrong energy. It's always anger or excitement or greed or fear. It's always some emotion. You're not moving by faith. You're moving by emotion. But the emotion makes you doubt. See, when you're turned to the outside by emotion, then you are turned away from, see, the inner source, from God. And then you doubt it because you're turned from it. You're not connected to it. So you can't believe it. All you do is doubt it. See? So you have to find a way to stand back from these emotions that are always pulling you into doubt. and from this squirrel cage of thinking that always comes after the emotions. You have to stand back and observe them. It doesn't mean stopping your emotions, trying to stop them. It doesn't mean trying to stop thinking. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means getting a little bit of distance, taking a step back, and then observing it. See? It's possible to observe a thought without being lost in it. It's possible to see an emotion that you're having without giving in to it. It's possible to observe, see, people, places, and things with a little bit of mental distance. And that puts you closer to your inner ground of good, where you can wordlessly know. You can wordlessly see. See? And from there also comes another energy. See? A higher energy. So when you're closer to your intuition, then you can see in the light of intuition. And when you trust what you know in your heart, when you trust that, well, that's belief. See? When you see the way of the world where everybody's rushing and everybody is striving and angry, and you see all that, and you just see that it's a mistake. And you're seeing it in God's light of truth, in the light of truth. And in the light of truth, you see the truth about what's going on out there. And then when you believe that, you're believing into the source. See, you're believing into the source of this truth. And then believing into it, you see, now that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Just stand back from your tricky imagination and your emotions which fool you, and just get closer to your inner ground of good, closer to your intuition. Okay? Practice getting closer to your intuition. And then you'll be living in the present, not in fantasy. And you'll be able to observe things without becoming upset by them, without becoming excited by them. See, you'll just see them. So you'll be more your own person, more self-composed. Okay? Then you can go out in the world, and you will have with you this new connection, this new rapport with your inner ground of good. Okay? And then walk, see, with it. And then go about your life, now not so emotional. See? And you'll find yourself more calmer, more composed, more thoughtful, see? And less resentful, less angry. Well, all the kinds of good things will begin to happen simply by standing back from the old emotional way of building up an emotional head of steam and getting angry or excited to do something, or becoming resentful. And resentment can be a spur to do something, but it can also be a block. See, some of you are blocked. You're blocked from love. You're blocked from, you have learning blocks. You have emotional blocks. See, because of the resentment, see? Which came from overreacting to something on the outside. So now you see that when you turn back, when you turn, see, to the inner, turn to the inner light, and cling to it, and yearn for it. Okay, yearn for truth, yearn for innocence. See, yearn to know what good is. You don't even know what good is, and yearn to live rightly, and you don't even know how to live rightly. But just admit that you don't know how to live rightly. See, admit that you can't make yourself good. Just simply admit that, because you know what? You're seeing it in the light of truth also. And seeing it in the light of truth, it's a relief. Okay? It's a big relief. My name is Roland.